name is Melody and welcome back to Strawberry Lemon. I hope everyone has been doing well, and I have another reading vlog for y'all today, and it is going to be a reading vlog where I read retellings. So I have two retellings that I want to read for this vlog. The first one is Neon Gods by Katee Robert, and it is a Hades and Persephone retelling. I'm pretty sure it was pretty popular when it came out and everything, and I'm trying to read a couple of my friends' 5-star reads from 2021. It's a collab thing that we're doing, so this is Kayla's 5-star read from Kayla Ray Reads. Channel will be linked down below, and yeah, I really like Hades and Persephone, like the whole story about it, so I'm very interested to see the retelling of this. So we have Persephone, who lives in the city of Olympus, and she is being told by her mother that she has to marry Zeus. And she's like, no, what the heck, I'm not doing that. So I believe she runs away and she makes a deal with Hades, who she always thought was a myth, which is why I think it says he was supposed to be a myth. Hades agrees, I believe, because he wants revenge on the people in Olympus, and Persephone is going to be his way of getting that. And I believe they fall in love, maybe, seems like it, and we'll see. I'm very, very intrigued by this. This is part of a series, so I'm not sure how this will end, but yeah. The other book that I want to read is a Norse mythology retelling. It is The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichec. I will tell you more about the synopsis when I start reading it, but the synopsis mentions like Odin and Loki. I think a lot of people know about Loki from the Marvel movies and everything, so yeah, it has witches, some prophetic powers. It does seem very interesting, and it is the book club pick of the month for the Genre Soup book club, so that is also another reason why I'm reading it, and I really have high hopes for it, and we'll see how things go, but I will update you when I update you. See ya! Hello, it has been 3 or 4 days since the last update. I am almost halfway through the book, and I thought that the premise kind of this book is super interesting. I believe Olympus is a city on Earth. It's not like in the skies or anything. And I think maybe there's a barrier or something. It's like really hard to leave the city. But yeah, Olympus is a city, and the city is divided by the River of Styx. So the River of Styx divides the city into Upper City and Lower City. So Lower City would be where Hades is, and Upper City is where all the other gods and goddesses are. I think they're human. I'm pretty sure they're human. So that's another thing that I found really interesting. So Hades and Zeus and Hera and Ares and Demeter and everything, they're not immortal. I believe Zeus's position is through lineage. Ares is through battling, like some kind of, I don't know, gladiator style duel or something like that. Demeter is elected into that position. And yeah, they are not immortal, which I thought was really, really interesting because that was not at all what I was expecting from this book. Also, this book is an adult romance, I guess. I think it's classified as a romance. I'm not super sure about that. But yeah, Persephone is 24 years old. Hades is in his mid-30s and Zeus is in his 60s, I think. The whole premise is that Persephone is trying to run away from Zeus because he like over abuses his power, and you know, she doesn't want to marry him anyways. And while running away, she meets Hades. They form a deal eventually, and I won't tell you the details of the deal or anything because I feel like it's a little bit of a spoiler because it does take a couple chapters to get there. But yeah, things are a little spicy. I think they're gonna be a lot spicier very soon, but this book gives me kind of like MC romance vibes right now. Hades is kind of possessive, he's very overprotective, he gives the dark vibes. I think he's described as wearing a black on black suit, and I would give him dark and growly vibes. Growling is mentioned a lot in this book. He always growls. Persephone always had the persona of being all bright and bubbly and happy and everything, but she is a little spitfirey, I would say. And her and Hades' interactions are, I like it. I love the banter that they have. And we've also met Hermes and Dionysus Is that how you say his name? I don't know. We've met those two, and I hope they appear more in this book because I just love them. They're so funny. They don't care that Hades ain't trying to make friends. They're like, we're gonna be your friends anyways. Like, you have no say whatsoever in this. It's just really cute. And Hades and Zeus got beef. And at the beginning of the book, I wasn't super into it because I wasn't in love with the writing style. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. The writing style was really, really easy to read. This book is really easy to read, fast to get through. But I felt like at times, especially earlier on in the book, the writing felt a little, I don't know if dramatic's the right word, like kind of exaggerated. I don't want to say unbelievable. I'll say exaggerated. But I think that only got to me at the beginning-ish of the book. I think I'm over that. I'm ready to finish this book. And I love that we get both Hades and Persephone's point of view. I think they switch almost every chapter. And yeah, I just want to see where this develops. And I'm having a fun time. And that's about it for now. I'll update you later. Hi! It has been a couple of weeks. Yeah, I didn't update this vlog as much as I thought I was going to. So we're just gonna have a final update because I have finished reading both books now. So Neon Gods by Katee Robert was a really interesting book. I have tabs here and there, and I did enjoy this book. I ended up giving it 4.25 stars. I can see why Kayla loved it. It was a really, really interesting read. Besides the romance aspect with Hades and Persephone, which this book focuses on a lot, really enjoyed the parts where Persephone is in the lower city with Hades, and they're just kind of exploring the lower city together, or Hades is showing Persephone the lower city, and just the architecture and kind of the history of the city and meeting some of its citizens and just going to some of the stores. I really enjoyed those parts of the book and just seeing them open up to each other. And Hades' perspective, he's just such a simp for Persephone, and I love it so much. Some parts when he opens up about his feelings, I'm like, stop it. He just won my heart over. And I honestly didn't care for the whole Zeus conflict of this book. I just wanted the romance between Hades and Persephone and see how it develops and what ends up happening between the two of them. This does have some spicy scenes in it, and overall I really enjoyed the book. I feel like I usually do like Greek mythology kind of inspired books, and I was looking at the second book in the series. So these are like companion novels or standalones. It's not like a series, so it follows different characters but in the same realm. And yeah, the second book sounds really good. So I don't know if Kayla has read it yet. I'm assuming that she has. If you're watching this, Kayla, please let me know down below what you thought about the second book, because I'm pretty inclined to pick it up right now. And there is two characters in this book that I'm hoping will get their own book, but I don't think of the books that have come out in the series so far it follows the two people that I want them to follow, which I'm kind of sad about, but I'm hoping they'll pop up a lot in all of the other books that you'll get kind of their story anyways. And yeah, 4.25 stars. Really enjoyed this. And the other book that I read for this vlog was The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichec. And I finished that book, so I'll give you my final thoughts and everything. I'm sorry I didn't update as much as I wanted to, but for this book, I read the first, I think like 70 pages, and then I put it down and had no motivation at all to pick it back up because this is more of a character driven book and I'm a more plot based kind of gal. So I went on script and read the book while also listening to the audiobook, and that helped me get in the groove of reading it again. And I'm so glad that I did, because this also ended up being a 4.25 star book. It was so good. And this follows Angrboda. I believe in Norse mythology she is the mother of monsters, and it kind of follows her and her romance with Loki because Angrboda is hiding in a forest from Odin because Odin is trying to get her to use her prophetic powers to do things that she does not exactly want to do. So she's hiding. It's told in the synopsis, so it's not spoilers, but eventually she has kids, and after that, as she's settling into her life in the forest at the edge of the world, she starts getting these kind of nightmares, and she believes it's Odin trying to push her to get what he wants. And it's just that, and everything spirals, and there's some mystery aspect to this as well. And while Neon Gods is really focused on the romance between Hades and Persephone, The Witch's Heart I wouldn't say is a super romance-focused book. Based on the synopsis, I thought this was going to be really focused on Angrboda and Loki's romance. And while it's not exactly, it's more than a subplot, like it is important to the story, but I don't think it's like the main aspect of the story either. So if you're looking for a romance heavy, like kind of like Neon Gods-ish kind of book, I wouldn't say this is that. This is more of a character-driven story. If you're a plot-driven gal and you need like action, 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 action all the time, this book might not be for you. But I'm a plot-driven person most of the time, but I ended up really liking this book. So I don't know, maybe just give it a try because it was pretty good. The concept of this story was just so interesting. A lot of things happened that I was not kind of expecting to happen. And this book almost made me cry, so that automatically like bumps up ratings for me. Like if you can get me connected enough to the characters that when things happen I'm like, oh my gosh, on the edge of tears, I almost cried but the drops did not fall, it's a pretty good book for me. But Natalie from Pastel Writer in the book club did say on the live show that this book made her cry, so take that as you will. I feel like this book is just really hard to explain. I feel like the synopsis on Goodreads tells you a lot but also doesn't at the same time. I do want to say though that there are two characters in the book that are mentioned in the end, and I was like, does Genevieve Gornichec have a book that is also a Norse mythology retelling that follows those two? Because I would pay to read that. Sadly, I don't think that story has been written by Genevieve Gornichec, but when I was Googling, I did find somebody else who wrote about those two characters, so I will most likely be picking that up. So if that tells you how much I enjoyed this book, that I looked for other books that contain characters from this book. And yeah, I think the last thing I have to mention about this book is that there is some like violence and death and stuff, just so that people are aware about that. But I think that is about it for this vlog. 4.25 stars. Had a really good time reading both of these books. If you have any other retellings or anything that you've really enjoyed, please let me know down below. I would love to read more of those and maybe do another vlog or something. And yeah, I think that is about it for now. I will hopefully see all of y'all in the next one. Bye!
Paralyzed all this time, replaying in my head, trying to fight, holding tight to everything that you